Liberal Viewer presents.
So, welcome to the December 23rd edition of Liberal Viewer Monday Media Mixup. Thanks for joining me and Chong the cat here, who is ready to get down a minute or two ago already. So, he won't be joining us for all 11 of these best, most newsworthy clips I picked out from the Sunday morning news analysis shows from the big five corporate outlets of ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, and Fox News, the so-called corporate media here in the United States, for it to be really good educational, fair use media criticism and political commentary show for you all today. I will have a bonus Cheech and Chong the kittens clip at the end. In fact, if you look down in the video description, I have short summaries of all 11 clips plus the bonus Cheech and Chong the kittens clip. And then the sources of all my clips are also down there. You can see the topic I'm covering, whether Elon Musk has bought the U.S. presidency. That was coming up based on the way the government almost shut down last week, and it'll be covered in some of the news summaries, so I don't have to go into all the details about how basically Elon Musk tanked this bipartisan deal that the Speaker of the House, Republican Mike Johnson, made with Democrats and the Biden administration and the Senate, and it was all worked out, and then he tanked the deal, and then kind of Trump came along on asking for things that he didn't get. And anyway, see, I've already gone into too much detail, but one of the results of this is, and this has been going on since the election, where Elon Musk has been showing up at all these meetings, like he's like moved into Mar-a-Lago, and he showed up for like the Jeff Bezos meeting uninvited apparently, and people are talking about how he's like really the president and Trump isn't the president, in, you know, sort of a joking manner. And in fact, that was the joke right at the beginning of Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update, which I will show you that over here.
Well, it is our last show of a wild 2024 that saw Diddy go to jail, Donald Trump get reelected president, and Elon Musk appoint himself co-president. And I don't know what next year will hold, but one thing's for certain. We will see all three of those guys at SNL's 50th anniversary.
So, I don't know. I mean, that was kind of the punchline there. There was sort of a punchline in the middle where he said Elon Musk appointed himself president, and the talk about it has gotten so bad that Trump on Sunday, I don't know if it was because of what they said on Saturday Night Live or other people talking about Elon Musk really being in control, he was speaking at Turning Point USA and their Turning Point Action Pack, which is basically right-wing college students. Charlie Kirk is the leader, who for some reason, he follows me on Twitter from the old days of YouTube, and I had like brief Twitter interactions with him over the years, but sort of. And anyway, the thing about this clip, I didn't take the first time he mentioned how, you know, great Elon Musk was and how he's not really president. But the second time he like made this joke with like, you never hear Trump laugh except kind of a fake laugh. And I think this is kind of has Trump's fake laugh is the jokes he make usually aren't very funny, and they're usually at someone's expense. I think this joke is actually at Elon Musk's expense. And this is a very short clip, but I just wanted to show you. It's, you know, for someone who went after Kamala Harris's laugh as like insane or whatever, his laugh is kind of creepy over here.
But no, he's not going to be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe. You know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country.
I don't know, was that a real laugh or was that a creepy laugh? But anyway, I'm now going to show you the news summaries from the big five corporate outlets from the longest to the shortest. The longest this week is the Fox News Sunday news summary. Shannon Bream comes on with a couple breaking news items. One of which is this attack in the Christmas market in Germany, which at first they were playing up a lot on Fox News because the person in custody, the driver who perpetrated it, was a doctor from Saudi Arabia. But then later, by the time Fox News was airing Sunday morning here in the United States, it became pretty clear that he was like a right-wing anti-Muslim guy from Saudi Arabia, where he was like in favor of the right-wing German party. What is it, AFP? I keep seeing articles about it. Elon Musk endorsed it recently, so it kind of fits with the Elon Musk theme here. Well, anyway, none of that, of course. The authorities are still investigating what his motives were. You know, if he actually was like a Muslim who attacked because he was from Saudi Arabia and pro, like Al Qaeda or whatever, that would definitely be in the Fox News Sunday News Summary, but it's not there. And then you'll see David Spunt cover give the most positive spin I think you could give to the almost government shutdown that happened this week. And I'll talk about that a little more after we watch that first news summary together over here.
Hello from Fox News in Washington this last Sunday of Advent, Christmas, and the start of Hanukkah just 3 days away. We began today with your headlines. Germany in mourning. Makeshift memorials growing this weekend at the site of that deadly Christmas market attack. 4 women and a 9-year-old boy were killed. More than 200 people were injured. Dozens remain in critical condition. The suspect arrested on the scene has been identified as a 50-year-old Saudi Arabian doctor who got to Germany in 2006. He appeared before a judge Saturday evening. Investigators say they're still trying to determine his motive for that attack. And turning to the Middle East, the U.S. military says 2 Navy pilots have been recovered alive after having to eject from their Super Hornet fighter jet in an apparent friendly fire incident in the Red Sea. The 2 pilots had just taken off from the deck of the USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier. Now, in a moment, we're going to get reaction to the budget deal just signed into law by President Biden from Senators MarkWayne Mullin and Ben Cardin. But first, we turn to David Spunt at the White House for more on how that deal came together and how it's setting up yet another showdown. It's going to come early into President Trump's new term. Hello, David.
Hello, Shannon. It was quite a deal. President Biden remains at the White House today after signing that to keep the government open. The government is officially open right now. However, it really was close to the wire. He released a statement touting compromise. He said this agreement represents a compromise, which means neither side got everything it wanted, but it rejects the accelerated pathway to a tax cut for billionaires that Republicans sought, and it ensures the government can continue to operate at full capacity. Things looked murky for a day or so after House Speaker Mike Johnson tore up the original agreement with Democrats once Elon Musk and President-elect Trump chimed in. Here's what passed. The funding stays at current levels until mid-March. It also includes more than $100 billion in disaster aid and $10 billion in economic aid for farmers. Notably missing, Shannon, is a debt limit increase, something President-elect Trump demanded.
We did what was basic to get us across this finish line, fund the government until President Trump comes in with the Republican trifecta, and then we will go through line by line and see how we can reduce spending and get our fiscal house in order.
But the spending fight exposed the divisions among House Republicans, foreshadowing some challenges that might surface next year as those Republicans try to implement the future president's agenda, an agenda closely watched by Elon Musk, the world's richest man with growing influence in the party.
A bipartisan agreement had been reached among 4 parties, the leaders of House Republicans, House Democrats, Senate Republicans, and Senate Democrats. That was unveiled late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. And then Elon Musk took to his social media platform.
President-elect Trump will speak in Arizona today at the conservative Turning Point USA conference, where it's likely he'll say something about this deal that was passed and signed into law by President Biden. Shannon.
We'll be watching. All right, David Spunt reporting from the White House. David, thank you so much. Thanks. Joining us now, Oklahoma Senator MarkWayne Mullin.
And I will have a clip that's my clip 11, Senator MarkWayne Mullin being asked by Fox News' Shannon Bream about some of the things that did come out of that bill. They didn't really cut any spending. They didn't give Trump the debt limit he wanted, debt limit increase he wanted, but they did take out a bunch of pages, not spending pages. You'll see, I think that's one talking point I hear from Republicans over and over again. Like they cut down the number of pages, but the thing they cut out was like regulations, including regulations that affected Elon Musk's business in China. That's something actually Shannon Bream will ask Senator MarkWayne Mullin about, sort of, in a really obtuse way and not follow up at all. It's something Chris Coons will also bring up in one of the clips I'm going to show you coming up. He also brings up that there was a provision that got taken out that would have prohibited revenge porn that might have also affected Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, because it was a social platform regulation that Elon Musk got out of there. Elon Musk got what he wanted. Trump did not get what he wanted, and Democrats pretty much got the same deal on the spending. So Elon Musk looks like the big winner here. That's why I'm wondering, did he buy the U.S. presidency in my title? But let's compare that coverage there from Fox News Sunday with ABC's This Week with George Stephanopoulos. We have Jon Karl in as the host this week, and basically covering the same, well, not the Christmas market attack in Germany, which I kind of pre-criticized there, but much of the same news is covered on ABC with Jon Karl over here.
Good morning. Welcome to This Week. If you were watching Congress this week, you might have thought for a moment that Donald Trump is already president. Along with his most high-profile and wealthiest advisor, Trump upended a bipartisan spending deal that had been months in the making. But the power of a president-elect, just like the power of a president, only goes so far. And while Trump's hold on the Republican Party is not in doubt, we saw that his power to get Congress to do what he wants has its limits. As Congress veered towards a shutdown, Trump made only one non-negotiable demand. He said that the bill to keep the government open must also increase or abolish the so-called debt ceiling. That's the amount the federal government can borrow to pay its bills. Without this, Trump said on social media, we should never make a deal. And this wasn't just advice. It came with a warning that he might campaign against Republicans who dared to defy him. Trump declaring any Republican that would be so stupid as to do this should and will be primaried. And even with that, 38 Republicans defied their president-elect. They were either unworried about his warning or simply didn't take it seriously. And in the end, 170 Republicans, along with almost all of the Democrats, approved a bill to temporarily fund the government without raising the debt ceiling. Again, defying Trump's demand. Trump had very good reason to insist on raising or eliminating the debt ceiling. The government is on pace to hit the limit on how much it can borrow next spring. And if it is not raised, the government faces default with dire consequences for the economy and for the Trump agenda. This week proved he won't be able to count on Republicans alone to avert that disaster. One casualty of this shutdown mess may be the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. He tried to do Trump's bidding and he failed, hurting his standing with the president-elect and with at least some of his Republican colleagues. Will he be reelected as Speaker when Congress reconvenes on January 3rd? With a minuscule Republican majority, that could take a minor miracle. On the show this morning, we'll hear from a Republican who defied Trump on the debt ceiling and who will take the seat held by Mitt Romney in the Senate come January. We'll also hear from the man who may well become Donald Trump's only Democratic friend in the Senate. I'm joined now by ABC News contributing political correspondent.
And the only clip of ABC I'm going to show you later is from the panel discussion, not the John Fetterman interview, though I almost took a clip from there, but I want to show you the Chris Christie perspective on the Elon Musk-Donald Trump relationship based on Chris Christie having been a close advisor and then having a falling out, which he is predicting for Elon Musk. But I don't know, Elon Musk has some more tools that Chris Christie didn't have, like billions or millions of dollars that he could spend on the midterms. That was part of the threat that Musk made to get the bipartisan continuing resolution to that whole deal to not happen and to take out the parts that he didn't like. And, by the way, I should have mentioned at the beginning, in terms of buying the presidency, Elon Musk spent like between $250 and $300 million to get Trump elected. You can't make direct contributions to the candidate, but you can spend money as independent expenditures or on PACs that do so-called independent expenditures. And Elon Musk has given, I think it was 260, 270. I've seen different estimates, but that's a lot of money. Of course, he's made a lot of money. His net worth has like doubled. He's gone up hundreds of billions of dollars since the election as well, but mostly his Tesla stock and then the value of SpaceX, which is a privately held corporation. But anyway, all of that, and Trump, like I said, didn't get his debt ceiling raised, and I saw some comments in the live commentary there that it doesn't matter about the debt ceiling. Well, you heard right after I saw people typing that, or somebody typing that at least, that Jon Karl said, it would be really bad for the Trump administration if they default on the debt. That would raise interest rates and also make it a lot harder for Trump to get the tax cut. He wants to extend the tax cuts from his first administration. In order to do that, he needs to raise the debt limit because there's, the Congressional Budget Office is not going to say extending the tax cut costs nothing. It lowers the revenue from the government, which makes the debt ceiling even, or the problem with default come even faster. But I want to get to the next news summary, if you can call it that. Sorry, a little fluff from the cat in my nose. The NBC News Meet the Press program, for all I know, it was recorded like days earlier. They didn't cover the shutdown at all. It was some panel discussion, and then they had they had James Lankford and Raphael Warnock, two members of the Senate who are both Baptist ministers, talk about how we can bridge the divide. And they had this extended Steve Kornacki poll thing, and that's the main story here. Polls show that we are very, very polarized, and I don't know, that's not even really news. Like I said, this whole show could have been pre-recorded who knows when, which I frown upon. I'm frowning upon it. I'm not going to show you the 6-minute Steve Kornacki thing, like 4 or 5 minutes. But down in the video description, there's a link to the entire NBC News Meet the Press program. They put it on it's on their NBC News YouTube channel, so you can watch it for free if you really want to see it. But here's the first 2 minutes over here.
Good Sunday morning. We begin with the question: can Americans keep talking to each other even when they disagree? With political polarization at an all-time high, is it even possible? A record high 80% of U.S. adults believe that Americans are greatly divided on the most important values. Just 18% believe the country is united. Americans today dislike and distrust those from opposing political parties more than they did in the past. Growing shares in each party describe those in the other party as more close-minded, dishonest, immoral, and unintelligent than other Americans. Nearly 2/3 of Americans say they always or often feel exhausted when thinking about politics. 55% feel angry. Just 10% say they always or often feel hopeful. In his first inaugural address, as civil war threatened to break the country apart, Abraham Lincoln famously said, "We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection." Over the decades, American presidents facing a divided country have returned to Lincoln and called for Americans to talk to each other.
We don't have to call each other names anymore. We have honest differences. We don't have to be mad. We don't have to, we don't have to be angry at each other on a human level, but we got honest differences.
Sometimes our differences run so deep, it seems we share a continent, but not a country. We do not accept this, and we will not allow it.
It's one of the few regrets of my presidency, but the rancor and suspicion between the parties has gotten worse instead of better. I have no doubt a president with the gifts of Lincoln or Roosevelt might have better bridged the divide. And I guarantee I'll keep trying to be better so long as I hold this office.
To take us through where we stand, I'm joined by my colleague, NBC News political correspondent Steve Kornacki. Steve.
Wow, that's a lot of graphics for Steve Kornacki. That, I don't know, I think maybe too many. That whole like little intro graphic package, that was a little too much for me, but I don't know, I guess just shows how special he is or whatever, I don't know. But as I said, that wasn't really a news summary, didn't cover any of the news, and none of the news was really covered on NBC News Meet the Press. So they say if it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press, but some Sundays they seem to pre-record, and some Sundays, if there's like some sporting event, they don't even show up. So you don't have to hear me complain about that much more. There are only like 4 episodes after today. There are 4 more episodes of Liberal Viewer Monday Media Mixup ending on January 20th with the final episode. So I don't know, let's see if Meet the Press can be here every Sunday from now till then. Well, we'll see. Maybe, maybe not. I can't remember if there's some sporting event that preempts them. But I have 2 more news summaries to get to here, both of which are under a minute. CNN State of the Union at least was live and tried to cover the news of the week in 50 seconds over here.
Hello, I'm Dana Bash in Washington, where the State of our Union is breathing a sigh of relief. Congress narrowly avoided shutting down the government for the holidays this year, but raised questions about how Washington will function under President-elect Donald Trump's second term, after Trump and Elon Musk blew up a bipartisan deal to fund the government days before the deadline. And then hardline Republicans in the House refused Trump's demand to raise the nation's borrowing limit. It was an extraordinary rebuke of the incoming president by his own party and a warning about House Speaker Mike Johnson's daunting task, corralling a very small but unruly majority to stick together to pass Trump's agenda. Here with me now is a close ally of Donald Trump, Senator Bill Hagerty.
So that was like 51 seconds, like I said, but still like a lot more information about the problems with the Republican Party that were revealed by what happened last week than what you saw from Fox News Sunday in their news summary that was like 3 whatever times as long. So juxtapose those, if you will, and then CBS News Face the Nation just kind of referred to chaos and went to their guest in the very brief non-news summary here.
Good morning and welcome to Face the Nation. We are just 3 days away from Christmas and the start of Hanukkah. Congress has gone home, but is last week's chaos on Capitol Hill an omen of what is ahead in 2025? Texas Republican Congressman Tony Gonzales is here.
And I will have a clip of Tony Gonzales from Face the Nation. In fact, that is one of the next 4 clips, the final 4 clips I'm going to show you are the 4 newsmaker clips on my main topic, the Elon Musk bought presidency of Donald Trump, apparently. And I only have 4 because Meet the Press, like I said, didn't cover the topic. They had like this pre-recorded conversation about how we can all come together and whatever. That's why there's no Meet the Press clip. But the first clip is this sort of tendentious analysis from Christie, like assuming that Elon Musk is going to follow the same trajectory he did as a close Trump advisor who then falls out of favor, which could happen. I mean, you could see that Trump's already a little annoyed about the whole President Elon Musk thing from that second clip I showed you with his fake laugh, and he was kind of perseverating on it in his speech. Like he brought it up twice at least. But as I was saying before, though, I think Elon Musk has some tools Christie doesn't, like his billions of dollars that he can apply to political races. And I'll talk about that a little more after we listen to Christie's analysis over here.
Governor Christie, look, you know what it's like to be part of Donald Trump's inner circle. You were in the inner circle 2016 through 2020. But I want to ask you about Musk. He's practically moved into Mar-a-Lago. My first question to you is, this is the wealthiest guy in the world. What is in it for him? Why has he become so attached to Trump?
You know, sometimes it's hard for folks to understand how intoxicating this can be for some people. But for Elon Musk, he doesn't stand in front of 20,000 people and have them chant his name, no matter how rich he is, which is what was happening to him on the campaign trail.
Unless he's with Trump.
That's right, on a regular basis in front of Trump's crowds. And I'll tell you a quick story about Donald Trump himself in 2016, experiencing this for the first time. I was on the plane with him, and he would typically have this box of documents from Trump Tower, from the real estate business, that his body guy, Keith, would bring to him once the plane took off. And Trump opened the box, looked at a couple of the pages, and he turned to me and he held some of the papers up and he said, Chris, he said, who gives a damn about any of this stuff once I've been involved in your business? And I think that Musk is experiencing the same thing. Setting off rockets are great. Electric vehicles are cool. And some of the other stuff he's doing. But it's not what he's experiencing right now.
Being right at the center of power and attention and all of that. How much influence does he really have on Trump? How much is he steering what Trump's been doing?
In the beginning, I think anybody who plays this role for Trump, and you go through the last 8 years, John, and there have been different people who played this exact role for Trump. It's different because it's Elon Musk, but when you initially begin in that role, you have enormous influence. And he loves having you around, and he loves listening to you, and you're the best thing in the world. It will always decline. And that's what happens, and you'll see it. It will happen with Elon Musk, too. I used to say this to General Kelly when he first became chief of staff. Yeah. Today, you're trading at 100 cents on a dollar. You will trade to zero. The only question is, how long will it take?
Yeah, certainly the case with Kelly. So that's the question everybody is asking. How long does Musk last? I've heard some people say he's going to be with him at least through the midterms because he's going to be such a force in funding the Republican campaigns. But how long do you think? When does this end?
It ends when Trump believes that something has gone wrong and he needs someone to blame. And Musk becomes the person who knows how long that will take. You know, look, our colleague Reince Priebus, it was 5 months, and then he was gone. General Kelly, it was 18 months. You know, the people who sit at the very center with Trump have a shelf life, and that shelf life is influenced by outside events, as Speaker Johnson is finding out right now. This is a guy who's done everything Trump's asked him to do. He's essentially gotten down on one knee to Trump on a regular basis. And now he had this problem this week. You watch. Trump will run from him because that's what he does.
And the fact that Trump made...
So, yeah, there was some weird glitch in that clip in the last, 30 seconds where I don't know what that was, but... Anyway, that was pretty much what I described it to be. I forgot it was Jon Karl who raised the ability of Elon Musk to spend on the midterm races that might keep him in Trump's orbit, at least for the first couple of years. But he is the world's richest man or whatever, so he does have things he can offer Donald Trump that Christie and General Kelly, the Trump chief of staff or whatever, they could not offer Trump billions or millions or whatever it is. Like I said, Elon Musk spent $270 million to get Trump elected, and he is recouping on that, both in terms of the value of his stocks going up based on the probability of him getting good regulatory relief from the Trump administration, and then that was also something taken out of this budget deal, this bipartisan budget deal. Like I was saying earlier, Elon Musk got what he wanted. Trump did not get the debt ceiling raised like he wanted, and it was not pointed out very well on any of the programs. Honestly, on CNN State of the Union, it was Chris Coons who raised it. Dana Bash didn't really raise it when she was talking to the Republican, and anyway, I'll talk about that a little more after this brief newsmaker clip. Chris Coons raising all the things that Elon Musk got when Dana Bash is asking whether, why Chris Coons won't say that Democrats won this fight over here.
Just on the raw politics of what we saw over the past few days, again, a lot of Democrats think that the way it ended up was just on the politics, was a political win. I don't hear you saying that.
Well, because I'm concerned about the American people and what this is going to mean. Yes, in a narrow sense, it was a political win in that President-elect Trump demanded all sorts of things, even threatened to primary Republicans who didn't support him, and then failed to get most of what he wanted. But you're right to focus on what fell out of the package. You know, it was things like transparency in drug pricing, investments in fighting pediatric cancer, investment reviews for new American investment into China, given that Tesla has a major new factory in Shanghai. That may actually benefit Elon Musk's business. A restriction on AI-generated revenge porn on social media platforms, something that would benefit X. So I do think we should look hard at what dropped out at the last minute.
Yeah, the pediatric research was done separately, which I'll get to later, which is a good thing. I want to ask about a couple of things that President Biden is considering doing in the last days of.
And then Dana Bash moves on to the possibility of pardons, the possibility of commuting the sentences of the people on death row, which Biden actually ended up doing. 37 of the 40 federal death row inmates had their sentences commuted to life without possibility of parole. They were very upset about that on Fox News today. But I kept that playing because Dana Bash did not really follow up on the fact that it was Chris Coons pointing out these benefits to Elon Musk in the deal that Democrats did get some wins from. Trump didn't get much out of, but Elon Musk got a lot out of. That same fact was brought up on CBS News' Face the Nation by the host Margaret Brennan when she was talking to one of the guests earlier in the program, Representative French Hill, the Republican from Arkansas. And if you want to see that interview, down in the video description, the link to Face the Nation goes to their YouTube channel where the whole episode is uploaded, as well as all the different interviews in parts. So you can watch that. And I was kind of surprised that since Margaret Brennan did bring up the China interests of Elon Musk when talking to that one Republican, she didn't bring it up when talking to Tony Gonzales, Republican from Texas, even though she was bringing up the whole problem with Elon Musk controlling the outcome or his like oversized influence, and lets him get away with calling, oh, well, Elon Musk is prime minister, which is like an elected head of the party in a parliamentary system, not some like rich guy who comes and like gives his opinion. And the other thing, well, should we watch the clip first, or, well, I'll tell you the other thing that annoys me about what Tony Gonzales says and gets no follow-up from Margaret Brennan after we watch that clip together over here.
I want to ask you about the dynamic here because it's confusing, frankly. I mean, Elon Musk is tweeting against bipartisan deals negotiated and led by the Speaker of the House. What role exactly is he playing here?
It's kind of interesting. We have a president, we have a vice president, we have a speaker. It feels like as if Elon Musk is our prime minister. And I spoke with Elon a couple of times this week. I think many of us
unelected.
Well, unelected, but I mean, he has a voice, and I think large part of that voice is a reflection of the voice of the people. Once again, a 1,500-page bill, how does that pass the smell test? It's absolutely wrong. It's what's wrong with this place. So we have to get back to regular order. The other part of it too is while House Republicans were fighting over this spending bill, guess what Senate Democrats were doing? They were ensuring that President Biden got his 235th liberal judge over the finish line. That's why it's so important that House Republicans stay united, stay laser focused on delivering on a President Trump agenda next year.
Oh, but Republicans in the House are clearly not united. And it was Speaker Johnson who led that bipartisan deal. Do you support him if he's standing for re-election? Should he still lead the party if you're saying he was leading in the wrong direction with a 15-page initial funding deal?
Yeah, and I do support Speaker Johnson. I think he's done a fantastic job keeping us all together. It's like feral cats on the House, right? So that's a tough job to begin with. But the fact that he was able to work with President Trump in order to whittle it down to a little over 100 pages, the fact that he was able to work with with Elon Musk and some of these other folks, other members, to find a solution just goes to prove that he's found a way. But this can't be the norm. This cannot be the norm. Once again, that's Democrats, the reason why I voted against the CR is this cannot be the norm. That we have to get back to regular order and pass our appropriations bills. Homeland security is certainly important to us. There's other things that are going on in the world.
So because the Republican majority now is so thin, it will also be thin in the new Congress. But right now, any missed vote gets a lot of attention. Congresswoman Kay Granger hasn't cast a vote since July.
And I kept that playing so you can see that Margaret Brennan moved on to another topic that let him get away with saying, Elon Musk is the voice of the people, like the richest man in the world is billionaires speak for the people I don't know. I mean, I suppose he speaks for some people, but I don't really see Elon Musk as voice of the people. Didn't really follow up on that whole prime minister thing. I don't know. That wasn't really great cross-examination. Didn't bring up Elon Musk's interests, even though she brought it up with the other Republican earlier in the show. So I don't quite get that. And now, finally, I have one more newsmaker clip to show you. This is the Fox News Sunday interview with Republican Senator MarkWayne Mullin. And it's in a surprising twist. You'll see Shannon Bream actually brings up the possible conflict that Elon Musk has with regulation of Chinese investments. They don't really explain it. They don't really explain how it was taken out of the bill as part of this deal. And you saw the news summary earlier where they don't really show how, like, Trump didn't get what he wanted, but Elon Musk got what he wanted out of this deal. That it was basically Elon Musk getting payback for his $250, $260, $270 million or whatever by exercising his influence and also threatening members with primaries with all the money he can spend in the midterms, which not a great way for a democracy to work, really, for one person to be able to have all that money and use it to influence elections and influence politicians that brazenly. But you'll see MarkWayne Mullin after Shannon Bream asks one good question, no real follow-up with all this, like, whataboutism stuff. Well, what about the Biden crime family? What about, all the things Democrats can, it's laughable. It's ridiculous that, but not really talking about the substance, of course, of the problem. In the final newsmaker clip, I'll talk about with you a little more after we watch it together over here.
Definitely want to change. I mean, that's something we saw in our Fox News voter analysis. More than 80% of people said they wanted massive upheaval or significant change. We're going to talk more about that a little bit later on in the show. But you mentioned Elon Musk being a part of that, and Democrats are raising their concerns, including Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro. She's written a letter to congressional leaders, Democrats and Republicans, saying that he got this deal killed in part, she thinks, possibly because of a bipartisan measure that would screen U.S. investments in critical sectors in China. She says Musk's investments in China and ties with its government have only grown over the last few years. The Shanghai plant in Tesla is its largest car manufacturing facility. That facility produced about 50% of Tesla's global automobile output over the last year. A number of lawmakers, including our next guest, Senator Ben Cardin, your colleague, have expressed concerns about connections, about businesses where he has benefited, on a foreign level, but also here at home, the U.S. contracts, the government contracts that he has. What do you say about that potential conflict of interest or appearance of it?
Yeah, it's laughable because these same Democrats turned a blind eye to the 27 shell companies that the Biden family had, with Brisa, with companies in Europe, with companies all over China, who was access to the president when he was vice president through Hunter Biden, and now when he was president through Hunter Biden, and the tombs of millions and millions of dollars. Remember, that's why Hunter Biden was actually pardoned for a crime. These same Democrats turned a blind eye to an absent, cognitive failing president, and now they're pointing fingers at a president and his consultants around him. It's honestly, I wonder if they really think the American people are that stupid. It's angry. It makes me angry, but it actually says they don't care about actually changing America for the best. They were more interested in driving a wedge between the American people rather than putting this country back on track. I wonder if they forgot the November 5th election. They lost. They lost because they took us in the wrong direction, and people want change, and that's what President Trump and the people around him are going to bring to America.
Okay, so Elon Musk, chief among them, it seems, as the most influential at this moment in time. So with that in mind, when you look forward to his potential influence, what do you make of those that say, first of all, he's got a lot of power and money to primary Republicans who don't go along with the plan? Do you think your colleagues should face those primaries? And also, do you worry about the optics that you as a legislative body, Congress, senators, congressmen, are in some way giving up some of your authority or your legislative responsibility if you are so influenced by somebody outside of an elected branch?
The only people that are saying they're being influenced by by Elon Musk are the Democrats making accusations of that. At the end of the day, we're going to do our job. We are going to listen to someone that's been very successful in life because that's what you do. You surround yourself with good people, you'll honestly make better choices. We see that all the time. But for them to start saying that we're going to make our decisions based on Elon, we're going to make informed decisions, what Elon gives us. At the end of the day, we're going to be representing those that elected us. For me, the great state of Oklahoma, and then I also have the privilege of representing the United States at the same time. Those are going to be the way we make our decisions, and everybody around there is going to do the same thing. If Elon wants to go out and take a personal shot at somebody, hey, he's a private citizen. Look at my social media, and why don't they take a look at their social media? I promise you, people are giving they're giving their opinion all the time on that. So why are they just pointing to Elon about it? In fact, you can go look at a lot of their billionaires that have come after all of us at the same time. They're just not doing it out front like Elon does, because Elon's someone that works in the front. He doesn't hide where he's at. That's why he's been very successful. And I really take a hard offense to the Democrats even accusing of us. In fact, they're the ones that's been corrupt over the last 4 years, not Republicans. And so they're saying that somehow we're going to sell ourselves out. Give me a break.
Oh, real quickly, because we got to go. Do you think that Speaker Johnson survives the speakership vote January 3rd?
Sorry about that. I'm not sure why the audio and the video were out of sync. Hopefully my audio and video are in sync here to finish the program. There was a lot of, I kept that playing so you could see that Shannon Bream had no follow-up to, talk about laughable, that claim at the end. Well, a lot of people express their opinion on social media, so why should we care that Elon Musk expresses his opinion on social media? Well, not many people can buy the social media platform and change all the algorithms so everyone has to see everything they say, like Elon Musk did with Twitter. Never mind skewing the whole thing towards right-wing hate speech and all the awful things that have happened on Twitter as it's now become X. But I think I pretty much pre-criticized that clip there, and that was pretty. I was surprised that Shannon Bream even brought up what Representative DeLauro, what her accusations about the conflict of interest, although they didn't really make it all that clear that really happened, that it did get taken out of the bill. They just, Democrats accuse. That's the best that they can come up with in terms of a confrontational question for a Republican guest. And as you saw, there was so much misinformation and disinformation and whataboutism about things that weren't even about what he said they were about. It was what about the thing that isn't about what I'm saying it's about? That's like a triple whataboutism. What about, not about, or no. Now I don't know what I'm saying, but I am done with showing you all my clips. I did promise a bonus Cheech and Chong the kittens clip at the end. Now I only have one camera, so this is edited together. It seems like it's in real time, but it's not really in real time. But there's Chong up above and Cheech down below, and I thought I would get Cheech mewing. He mewed when I didn't have the camera on, but it's all Chong mewing, as you'll see in the bonus Cheech and Chong clip at the end today over here. As you can see, Chong's up there by a holiday decoration. If you celebrate any of the holidays, there are a whole bunch of holidays coming up in the next week or two. I guess I hope you have a happy holiday. As I said earlier, I have 4 more episodes of the Monday Media Mix-Up. Next one will be December 30th, then the first 3 Mondays in January, culminating with January 20th, Trump Inauguration Day, Martin Luther King Day. Should be a big news day. I don't know exactly how I'm going to cover it, but I'll just do my best as I do every Monday. I hope you appreciate the time and effort I put into picking out the clips, adding my media criticism and political commentary. I may have some reason to upload some other video. I'm going to try to start doing more edited, produced videos to supplement my lack of weekly live streams. I will still do some live streams when I want to talk about something in particular, I think, but I'll tell you more about that in the coming weeks. I think I'm going to put up a couple polls on my channel, or I had a members only poll that I'm going to make a public poll. Also a clip of me from 1988 I think I'm going to release maybe sometime this week. That was only members only. It was a members only clip. I talked about this a few weeks ago. Like, YouTube gave me $200 to do like 2 member only posts and 2 member only videos, and that's all done now. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll be back for the next 4 Mondays, and until I have some other reason to upload a video, or until next Monday, I guess I'll be seeing all of you around the internet.